Hi everybody. So today I'm going to show you how to make the big baby. This was the small version that I already have on my channel. I will put the link in the description box. Thank you so much for those of you who did this. The color combos that most of you picked, it's really beautiful. I am so excited. Thank you for tagging me and showing me your end results. They're all beautiful. I am going to today use the colors pink and purple. So I'm going to do 2 rows of pink and 2 rows of purple. Pick the colors that you would like to use. You do not necessarily need to use the skin tone color skin color, sorry, for the face. You can pick any color that you would like. I'm going to use the 2 rows of pink and 2 rows of purple. You're going to need about 1180 bands. You're going to need 2 bands for the eye color, so pick the color that you would like. I am going to use 3 C-clips. One is in the flower, and the 2 are in the eyes. I did add an extra flower on here just to make it a little bit different. For the face and for the tips of the hands, you're going to use about 548 bands. The way I got these bands was from the skin tone mixed bags from Rainbow Loom. I had to use 3 bags to get the one color out. So it's up to you what you would like to use. And I am going to use stuffing, just my hook. I am going to use the Loom just to start me off on the magic rings. And I'm going to use a pencil to help me stuff the stuffing in the arms. So I am going to get started. Round 1 of the arm. I'm going to show you how to do one, and then you're going to pause the video to make another arm. I'm going to start off with the skin color that I'll be using for the face. So whatever color you're going to use for the face, this is what you want to start off with. I'm going to be using the bottom portion of my loom, just 1 peg to start off the magic ring. I'm going to be using Islicious Designs technique. So take your loom and turn it upside down. I'm going to do 5 stitches on the magic ring. So you're going to use 6 bands. You're going to take 1 band and wrap it around the bottom part of your loom 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now with your hook, you're going to reach inside and grab 1 band. This is your first stitch. You're going to bring it through like you're doing a slip knot. Put on your hook and bring 1 band over. Bring it to the side. Going for our second stitch, our second band, go in, bring it up, and put on your hook. You have 3 loops now. You want to bring these 2 bands over and bring it to the side. Going for our third stitch, you want to reach in, leaving that band on your hook, and grab that band and bring it through. You have 3 loops, bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. Our fourth band, reach in, grab, bring up, and put the other end on your hook. Bring these 2 bands over and bring it to the side. Our last stitch, our 5th, reach in, bring it up on your hook, and these 2 bands over. Now I'm going to use my C-clip as my stitch marker just to count my rounds, know where I start and where I end. Remove it off your loom. Now I'm going to take these bands and just move them around so that they're nice and even, and you should have 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. Round 2 of the arm, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So I'm going to add 2 bands in every stitch all the way around. So when we're done this round, we're going to have 10 stitches. So that means we're going to use 10 bands. So you're going to go in your first stitch, right here, and you're going to add 1 band at a time. So bring the band through, put on your hook, and slide through these 2 bands. You're going to go back in that same stitch and add another band. Put on your hook, and you want to slide through. Go in the next stitch, and we're going to add 2 bands, 1 at a time, and slide through. Go back in with another band and slide through. Moving on to the next stitch, our third stitch, and you're going to add 2 bands. 1 and go back in, 2. Going in the next stitch, same thing, adding 2 bands one at a time. Next stitch, our last stitch, where your stitch marker is, you're adding 2 bands. If at any point in time I'm going too fast in the video, pause the video and come back to me when you're done. So at the end of this round, you should have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the one on your hook is 10. Remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. Round 3 of the hand, still continuing with your skin color, whatever color you're using for the face, we are going to increase every second stitch. So right now you have 10 stitches. At the end of this round, you're going to have 15 stitches. So the pattern is 1 band on the first stitch, 2 bands on the next stitch. 1 band, 2 bands, 1 band, 2 bands. When you get to your stitch marker, you're going to be adding 2 bands. So going in the first stitch with 1. Going in the next stitch with 2, one at a time. Then repeat 1 in the next stitch, 2 in the next stitch. Repeat 1, 2 in the next. Repeat 1, in the next stitch 2. I dropped my stitches. I'm going to pick them up. My next stitch is 1. My last stitch has 2. Drop my stitches again. You should have 15 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and the one on your hook is 15. Remove your C-clip or your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. Round 4 of the arm, what we're going to do is, still using your skin color, we are going to decrease every second and third stitch. So our first stitch is going to have 1 band, and then we're going to stitch 2 and 3 together. 1 band, stitch 2 and 3 together. At the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches, so right now we're going to use 10 bands. Going in your first stitch and using 1 band, now stitch 2, and you're going to come in and grab stitch 3. I'm just going to do that one more time. Go and stitch 2, turn towards the middle of your arm here, your hand, and go through stitch 3. Grab a band, and you're going to bring it through both of these stitches. So there's 1, turn, and now with your finger you can just move the hand part, the circle, towards the center. So you relieve some of the tension. Put on your hook and slide through. You're going to repeat. The next stitch has 1. Take stitch 2, turn, take stitch 3. 1 band and pull it through. With my finger, I'm just moving the hand here to the center of that band. Grab the end and slide through. And just repeat. One band, stitch 2, and stitch 3 together. This is how you're decreasing, so we're making the hand part smaller now. Repeat. 1, 2, and 3 together. And just repeat. 1, and your last 2 should be together. You should have 10 stitches now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the one on your hook is 10. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. And I'm just going to move the bands around. For round 5 of the hand, I'm going to change my color. So I'm going to be changing it to the pink color. I'm going to tell you what to do in this round, so just listen carefully here. We are going to do a slip stitch on our first because I'm changing the color. So we just want nice even rounds when we're done. So going in your first stitch, not where it's getting pulled, you're going to go through, grab a band, and you're going to bring it through all the bands that are around your hook. So kind of like we're doing a slip knot. Put the other end on your hook and slide through. Now our next 2 stitches we are going to decrease. So we're going to grab 2 and 3 together. 2 and 3 together, and you're going to crochet just normally. So you're going to bring it through that stitch, bring it through the next stitch, and put it on your hook. Put on your hook, and you're going to slide through. Now we're going to do a single stitch on every stitch, but our last 2 stitches we're going to stitch together. We're using 8 bands on this round, so we want to have 8 chains at the end. So going in your next stitch, so not where it's getting pulled, with just a single band, and you're just going to crochet normally. So go through, put on your hook, and slide through. Go through the next chain with 1. The next chain with 1. 1. 1. And now I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to stitch together. 1, and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide through. You should have 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the one on your hook is 8. I'm going to remove my C-clip. For rounds 6 to rounds 12, what we're going to do is single stitch every stitch. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do round 6 and start you on round 7. You're going to pause the video and continue the pattern all the way around. So going in your first stitch, so you can see, I'm going to be using another round of pink. So you're going to go in your first chain here. So not where it's getting pulled and not where you have a little tiny slip knot. Going in your first stitch with 1 band and bring it through. On your next stitch, 1 band. You're just putting 1 band through every stitch, so at the end of the rounds you're going to have 8 stitches. Next stitch. One band in each chain all the way around. last stitch, bring it through. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, or you can leave the stitch marker if you're using the C-clips and add another C-clip just in case you get confused and you lose track of your rounds, especially if you're using one color. So I'm going to start you off on the next round because we're going to change color. You're going to go in your first stitch, not where my C-clip is because that's where it's getting pulled, it's already been used. And the next stitch with one band, and because I'm changing, I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to go through all the bands on my hook and bring it through. And you're just going to continue the pattern. So when you do change color, if you are, don't forget about the slip stitch when you're starting off your round. Just continue. Come back to me when you're done. Now that you've finished rows 6 to row 11, I'm just going to take off my C-clip. These were just counting my rows, just to show you. We're going to undo the last stitch so we can do a slip knot. So I'm just going to remove this off my hook, and I'm going to remove the last stitch and put this stitch back on. I'm going just to remove this band, and you're going to go back in that same stitch and grab the band, and you're going to do a slip knot. So you're going to bring it through all of the bands that are around your hook. Put on your hook and slide through so that it is secure. Now you're going to take a little bit of stuffing and we're going to stuff this. But first I'm just going to move the bands around just so that they're nice and even everywhere. And just take some stuffing. You don't want to have a lot. The more you put, the more that it shows. I'm just going to use a pencil just to push some down to the bottom. Flatten out the hand, and I'm just going to put a little bit more. And I'm just going to roll it. If there's any of the stuffing coming out, you just want to remove that. Don't keep trying to stuff it in. Okay, and any of the loose pieces, we're just going to put in nicely. Secure that knot. Now what I'm going to do is use 3 bands, whatever color you have on the top here. Bring your slip knot to the side, and I'm going to catch 2 chains on either side. So if you pull here, you're going to go through 1 chain on one side and 1 chain on the other side. I'm going to take a band and bring it through all of these loops, and I'm going to do a slip knot. Now I'm going to go through the next 2 chains right beside it on either side, 1 and 2, and bring a band through. Put on my hook and slide through. Now you're going to have 2 chains at the end. Going to fix it up here. Right at the end, one on one side and the other chain on the other side. I'm going to bring a band through and do a slip knot. I'm going to do the other arm with you. So I'm going to get 3 bands. Bring my slip knot to the end, and I'm going to go through the chain on one side and the chain on the other side. Grab a band and bring it through and do a slip knot. These are the bands that are going to help us to sew the arms on the body. Right beside it, 2 chains on one side, through the 2 chains on the other side. Bring a band through and do a slip knot. And the 2 chains at the end. So you can put these to the side. We're done with the arms. Round 1 of the head, what we're going to do is 5 single stitches in the magic ring. So I'm going to use 6 bands total. I'm going to use the end of my loom. So just turn your loom upside down. Take a single band and wrap it around one peg 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do 5 stitches, so using 5 bands. Go in, grab one band, and you're going to bring it through. Put on your hook. Grab the band and bring it over. Bring it to the side. Our second band, go through, bring it through, and put the other end on your hook so you have 3 loops around your hook. You're going to grab these 2 bands and bring it over. Let me do one at a time. 1 and 2. Bring it to the side. Our third stitch, go in, put on your hook, and bring these 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. Our fourth band, go in, bring it through, put on your hook, and grab these 2 bands and bring it over. Bring it to the side. Our fifth band, so our 5th stitch, go in and bring it through. Bring it over and remove, or add your C-clip. I usually add my C-clip. Attach. You should have 5 stitches now. I'm just going to move these bands around so that they're nice and even. And you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. Round 2 of the head, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So we're going to add 2 bands to every stitch. At the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches, so we're using 10 bands. Going in your first stitch, you're going to grab one band and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide. You're going to go in that same stitch with your second rubber band and bring it through. Your next stitch, again, you're going to add 2 rubber bands. So going back in and bring it through. Slide. Moving on to the next stitch, we're going to add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. Continue this pattern all the way around. You should have 10 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The one on your hook is your 10th. I'm going to remove my C-clip and add it to the band around my hook. Round 3 of the head, what we're going to do is increase every second stitch. So we are going to use 15 bands for this round, and we're going to end up with 15 stitches. So the pattern is 1, 2 with 2 bands. 1 band, 2 bands, 1 band, 2 bands, all the way around. When you get to your stitch marker, you'll be adding 2 bands. So going in the first stitch with 1 band. Your next stitch with 2 bands, one at a time. One, next stitch 2. Repeat 1, 2. Remember, if I'm going too fast, pause the video and come back to me. Just repeat the pattern. 1, next stitch has 2. And again, 1, last stitch with 2. So you should have 15 stitches. Never count where your C-clip is. That's being used. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15 is on your hook. I'm going to remove my stitch marker and add it to my band. Round 4 of the head, what we're going to do is increase every 3rd stitch. So the pattern is 1, 1, 2. In your 3rd stitch, you'll have 2 bands. Then 1 band, 1 band, 2 bands. Repeat, 1 band, 1 band, 2 bands. So I'm going to be using 20 bands, and at the end of this round, we're going to have 20 stitches. Where your C-clip is, your stitch marker, you're going to be adding 2 bands. So going in your first stitch, careful where you go, with 1 band. Your next stitch, 1 band. And your 3rd stitch has 2 bands. Repeat, 1 band, 1 band, 2 bands. Going back in the same stitch to add my 2nd band, and repeat, 1, 1, 2. Repeat, 1, 1, 2. And again, one more time. So you should have 20 stitches. If you'd like to count your stitches, you can do that now. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. Round 5 of the head, what we're going to do is increase every 4th stitch. So at the end of this round, we're going to have 25 stitches, so that means we're going to use 25 bands. The pattern is 1, 1, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 2. Your last stitch, where your stitch marker is, you're going to be adding 2 rubber bands. So again, on your first stitch, you're adding 1. Second stitch, you're adding 1. Third stitch, you're adding 1. and your fourth stitch you're adding 2. Repeat this pattern 5 times all the way to the end. 1, next stitch, 1. Third stitch, 1. And your fourth stitch you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So going back in the same stitch with your second rubber band. Repeat 1, next stitch, 1, next stitch, 1, and your next stitch has 2. And repeat all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 2. One, 1, 1, 2. So count your stitches and you should have 25 stitches. You're going to remove your C-clip and attach it to the band around your hook. For round 6 of the head, what we're going to do is increase every 5th stitch. So we are going to use 30 bands, and at the end of this round we are going to have 30 stitches. Your last stitch where your stitch marker is, you're going to be using 2 rubber bands. So going in your first stitch with 1. Your next stitch, 1. Next stitch, 1. Your fourth stitch has 1. And your 5th stitch has 2. And repeat. 1, 1, 1, 1, and 2. In case you're not getting it, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So you're going to go in 4 chains with 1 band, and on your 5th chain, you're adding 2. And repeat this all the way around. So right now you should have 30 stitches. You can remove your stitch marker and add it to the band around your hook. For round 7 to rounds 15, you're going to single stitch in each chain. So you're just going to add a rubber band, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around, adding 1 rubber band to each chain. At the end of each round, you're going to have 30 stitches. So you can see I've separated my rounds. Each pile has 30 bands. You're just going in with 1 rubber band at a time. I will be leaving my C-clips just to count my rounds in case I get distracted. So you're just adding 1 rubber band in each chain. When you're done, you're going to pause the video now, and when you're done each round, you're going to come back to me. I'm not gonna, this will take too long for too long of a video. So just pause now and come back to me. For round 16, what we're going to do, sorry, just dropped it. For round 16, what we're going to do is start to decrease. So we are going to add a single stitch in the first 4 chains, and then we're going to take stitch 5 and stitch 6 together. So it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 and 6 together, and you'll repeat this 5 times. 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 and 6 together. So I'm going to go in the first one, the first stitch, and bring a single band through, 1 stitch. My second stitch has 1. My third stitch has 1. And my fourth stitch has 1. Now take stitch 5, bring it in, go through stitch 6, and bring a band through. Remember, I like to take the body and just bring it to the center, loosen up some of that tension, grab the end, and bring it through. And repeat this pattern 5 times. At the end of this round, you're going to have 25 stitches. Stitch 5 and stitch 6 together. Repeat 1, 1, 1, 1, 5 and 6 together. Repeat this pattern all the way around and come back to me when you're done. So you can pause the video now. For round 17 of the head, what we're going to do is decrease again. So we're going to decrease every 4th and 5th stitch. So the pattern will be 1, 1, 1, 4 and 5 together. 1, 1, 1, 4 and 5 together. We are going to use 20 bands for this round, and at the end of this round we're going to have 20 stitches. So going in the first stitch with a single band. Stitch 2, 1 band. Stitch 3, 1 band. Stitch 4 and stitch 5 together. Repeat 1, 1, 1, 4 and 5 together. Repeat. 1, 1, 1, 4 and 5 together. So pause the video, finish the round, and come back to me when you're done. For round 18 of the head, what we're going to do is decrease again. So this time we're going to decrease every third and fourth stitch. You're going to repeat this pattern 5 times, and at the end of this round you're going to have 15 stitches. So I'm going to use 15 bands. So the pattern is 1, 1, 3 and 4 together. 1, 1, 3 and 4 together. So I'm going to go in my first stitch with 1 band. My second stitch, 1. Now take 3 and 4 and stitch together. And repeat. 1. Next stitch with 1. Take 3 and 4 together. And repeat. 1, 1, 3 and 4 together. You're going to do this 2 more times till you reach the end. Come back to me, pause the video, and come back to me. For row 19, we are going to decrease. This is our last row. This time we're going to decrease every second and third stitch. You're going to repeat this pattern 5 times, and at the end of this round you're going to have 10 stitches. So right now we're going to use 10 bands. So it's 1, 2 and 3 together, 1, 2 and 3 together, all the way around. Our last band, we're going to do a slip knot, and then we're going to add our stuffing. So going in the first stitch with 1 band. Take stitch 2 and 3 and stitch together. 1, 2 and 3 together. 1, 2 and 3 together, and repeat. Now for our last one, you're going to repeat that pattern, 1 stitch, 1 band into 1 stitch, the first stitch. And now you're going to take 2 and 3 together. You're going to bring this single band and you're going to bring it through all of the bands that are around your hook. And you're going to do a slip knot. Give it a tug. I'm going to remove my C-clip. I'm going to move the bands around so that they're nice and even. And I'm going to add my stuffing. Remember, you don't want to add too much. Just moving it around, just taking out the end pieces. making a nice ball. I'm just going to see, I could probably add a little bit more. Nothing's coming out at the end, so I'm good with this. For round 1 of the body, what I'm going to be doing is 5 single stitches on our magic ring. The pattern that I'll be following is 2 pink, 2 rows of pink, and then 2 rows of purple. So choose the colors that you would like to use. You're going to turn your loom upside down. You're going to take a single band and wrap it around one peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now with your hook, you're going to reach inside, grab a single band as if you're doing a slip knot, grab the other end and put on your hook. You're going to grab this band and bring it over and move it to the side. Going with our second band, reach in, grab the band and bring it through on your hook and bring these 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. With our third band, bring it through on your hook, bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. Our fourth stitch, reach in, bring the band up, bring these 2 bands over, and bring it to the side. Our fifth stitch, so our fifth band, reach in, bring it through, bring these 2 bands over, and I'm going to add my stitch marker to the band around my hook. Remove off your loom and move these bands around so that they're nice and even. You should have 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. For round 2 of the body, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So we're going to add 2 bands to every single stitch. So you're going to use 10 bands, and at the end of this round you're going to have 10 stitches. So going in the first stitch with 1 band, go back in that same stitch and add another band. We're going in our next stitch and we're going to add 2 rubber bands one at a time. Go back in. On our third stitch, we're adding 2 rubber bands. And continue this pattern. So now you should have 10 stitches. I'm going to remove my C-clip and add it to the band around my hook. For round 3 of the body, we are going to increase every second stitch. So we're going to use 15 bands, and at the end of this round we're going to have 15 stitches. So the pattern is 1 band, 2 bands. Repeat, 1 band, 2 bands. Your last stitch, where your stitch marker is, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So going in the first stitch with 1. Let me take this off. Because I'm changing the color, I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to go in the first chain, grab that rubber band and bring it through all the loops that are around my hook. Grab the end and bring it through. I'm going to go in my next stitch with 2 rubber bands one at a time. Repeat, 1 and then 2 in your next stitch. You're just repeating this pattern 5 times. Then repeat 1. Your next stitch will have 2. Repeat 1. 2. 1. 2. So you should have 15 stitches all the way around. I'm just going to count this one with you. So you're not going to start where your C-clip is, and you're not going to start where this little slip knot is. You're going to start where you actually see a chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The one on your hook is 15. I'm going to remove my stitch marker and add it to the band around my hook. And I'm just going to move the bands around. For round 4 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every 3rd stitch. So the pattern is 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, all the way around. When you get to your stitch marker, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So I'm going to be using purple again for my next row, and I am going to go in my first stitch. So you're going to see my colors being used on the pink. My next little stitch here, that's the slip knot. So I'm not going to go in there. I'm going to go through the actual chain with 1 rubber band and bring it through. My next stitch, 1. My 3rd stitch, I'm going to have 2 rubber bands. At the end of this round, you're going to have 20 stitches. One, and then 2. Repeat 1, 1, 2. And repeat 1, 1, 2. So count your stitches. You should have 20. I'm going to remove my stitch marker and add it to the band around my hook. For round 5 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every 4th stitch. I'm going to be changing my color. So the pattern is 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, all the way around. At the end of this round, you're going to have 25 stitches, so I'm going to be using 25 bands right now, and at the last one where your stitch marker is, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So I'm going to change the color, so we're going to do a slip stitch. So bring your band through if you're changing color, and bring it through. Put on your hook and slide. So now, that was 1. Your second stitch has 1 band. Your 3rd stitch has 1 band. And your 4th stitch has 2. So go back in that same stitch and add another rubber band. Repeat the pattern. 1, 1, 1, 2. And then just continue 1, 1, 1, 2. And pause the video now and come back to me when you're done. For round 6 of the body, what we're going to do is increase every 5th stitch. So I'm continuing my pattern with my pink color, and the pattern is 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So you'll see I've done this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. On your last stitch where your stitch marker is, you're going to be adding 2 rubber bands. You're going to repeat this pattern 5 times. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 30 stitches. So you're going to go in your first chain. You can see right here this purple that was being used. Right beside it is my little slip knot. This is my first chain. So I'm going to go in my first one with 1 rubber band. I'm going to go in my second chain with 1. My third, 1. My fourth chain, 1. And my 5th chain, I'm going to add 2 rubber bands, 1 at a time. And repeat 1 with 1. Chain 2, 1 band. Chain 3, 1 band. Chain 4, 1 band. And chain 5, you're going to add 2. You're going to repeat this pattern 3 more times. Pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For round 7 of the body, we are going to increase every 6th stitch. So we're going to be adding 2 rubber bands on each 6th stitch. Hope that makes sense. So the pattern is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. So you're going to go through 5 stitches with just a single rubber band. I'm going to change color, so I'm going to go in my first stitch and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to bring the rubber band through all the loops that are on my hook, grabbing the other end and doing like a slip knot. Now going in stitch 2 with 1, stitch 3 with 1, stitch 4 with 1, stitch 5 with 1, and stitch 6, you're going to add, your 6th stitch, you're going to add 2. And repeat the pattern. 1, 1, 1. Your 4th stitch has 1. Your 5th stitch has 1. And your 6 has 2. At the end of this round, you're going to have 35 stitches. So continue the pattern until the end and come back to me when you're done. So pause the video. For rounds 8 to rounds 12, we're just going to single stitch in each chain. So we're just going to add 1 rubber band, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. At the end of each round, you're going to have 35 stitches. So each one of my piles has 35 bands. I'm going to do 1 round with you and start you off with the second. If you are changing color, make sure to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to go in my first chain with 1 rubber band. Bring it through. You're just adding 1 band to each chain in a total of 35 bands. You're going to start to see your round is going to curl up. So now we're just building up. I will be leaving my C-clips on in case I have to stop or take a break. I'll know where I left off. So I'm going to start you off with round 9. Just going to add a C-clip to my band. And I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to go in my first stitch, and I'm going to go through all the bands, put on my hook, and do a slip stitch, like a slip knot. And you're just going to go in your next stitch with one band and go all the way around, and you're going to complete the 4 rounds on your own. So pause the video and please come back to me when you're done. For round 13 of the body, what we're going to do is start to decrease. So in this round, we're going to decrease every 6th and 7th stitch. So we're going to use 30 bands, and at the end of this round, we're going to have 30 stitches. So I've organized 5 rows. So that we're going to repeat this pattern 5 times. And the 6th band, this is the 6th and 7th stitch, if that makes sense to you. I hope it does. So it's just going to be 1 stitch in the first 5, and then we're going to take stitch 6 and 7 and stitch together. So I'm going to start with you. I'm going to change the color. So I'm just going to go through all the bands, grab that other end, and do a slip stitch. Going in the next stitch, your second chain with 1 band. Chain 3, 1 band. Chain 4, 1 band. Chain 5, 1 band. Now you're going to take 6 and 7 and stitch together. You're going to repeat this pattern. 1 band in the first chain, 1 band in the second chain, 1 band in the third chain, 1 band in the fourth chain, 1 band in the fifth chain, and you're going to take 6 and 7 and stitch together. You're going to repeat this pattern all the way around. So you're going to do the same pattern 3 more times. Pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For rows 14 to row 18 of the body, we are going to single stitch in each chain. So I have 5 piles of 30 bands in each. So at the end of this row, at the end of the rounds, you're going to have 30 stitches. So you're just going to go in the first stitch like we did our rounds before and add a single band. In each single chain, just one band all the way around. I'm not going to do this whole round with you because you're just adding one band in each. Just when you do, if you do, change the colors, just remember to start off with a slip stitch so that your circles will be nice and even. Just adding one band. So please pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For row 19 of the body, what we're going to do is decrease on this round. We are going to decrease every 5th and 6th stitch. So that means on our first stitch, you're going to add one rubber band, second stitch 1, third stitch 1, fourth stitch 1, and you're going to stitch 5 and 6 together. You're going to repeat this pattern 5 times. So I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to go in my first stitch and I'm going to do a slip stitch. So on my second stitch with one rubber band, third stitch, one rubber band, fourth stitch, one rubber band. Now take 5 and stitch 6 and stitch together. You're going to repeat 1, stitch 2, 1, your third chain as 1, your fourth chain has 1, and now take 5 and 6 and stitch together. You're going to continue this pattern all the way around. 1, 1, 1, 1, stitch 5 and stitch 6 together. Pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For rounds 20 to 24, all we're going to do is single stitch in each chain. So you're going to add one rubber band to each chain. Right now you have 25 stitches, so each pile has 25 bands. I'm going to start off a few with you and then you're going to pause the video and continue your rounds. Right now I'm just going to move my bands around just to make sure that the stitches are nice and even, and I'm going to start. So going in my first stitch, which is the chain right here, not where I have the slip knot, I'm going to go in and add one rubber band. So going in the next chain and adding one rubber band. Just adding one to each chain. So you're using 25 bands on each round. You're going to continue this pattern all the way around. When you do change the color, don't forget to do your slip stitch. Pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For row 25 of the body, what we're going to do is decrease every 4th and 5th stitch. So right now we have 25 stitches and we're going to bring it down to 20 stitches. So at the end of this round you're going to have 20 stitches. I would recommend just moving the bands around just so that they're nice and even. And I'm going to change color. So right now we're going to go in our first stitch with 1 band. And because I'm changing color, I'm going to go through the next one and do a slip stitch. Going in chain 2 with 1 band, chain 3 with 1 band. You're going to take 4 and stitch 5 and stitch together. Push down in the center, grab the other end and bring it through. Repeat, stitch 1, 1 band, 2 with 1 band, stitch 3 with 1 band, take stitch 4 and stitch 5 and we're going to stitch together. Repeat, 1, next stitch 1, next stitch 1, stitch 4 and stitch 5 together. And you're going to repeat this pattern 2 more times. Four and 5 together. And one more time, repeating the pattern. And the last 2 stitches you should be stitching together. So count your stitches. You should have 20 stitches going around. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach to the band around my hook. For rounds 26 to rounds 30, what we're going to do is just single stitch in each chain. So right now you have 20 stitches, so you're going to finish these 5 rounds with 20 stitches. So each pile has 20 bands. So just going in your first stitch, right here, with a single band on each chain. Just 1 band all the way around. So you can pause the video now and come back to me when you're done. Just don't forget to do that slip stitch if you are changing the color. When you get down to round 30 with your last band, you're going to do a slip knot. So the same thing when you change a color and you do a slip stitch, And I will come back with my last band just to do it with you. So finish your rounds and come back. So I'm at the last band on my row 30. So I'm just going to go in and do a slip knot. So just to close it off, because now we're ready to stuff. So I'm just going to bring the band through all the loops around my hook, grabbing the other end and bringing it through. Give it a little tug. So now we're ready to stuff. So you can grab your stuffing. I left some C-clips on. And we're just going to fill it. Again, don't overstuff it so the stuffing is going to come out. You don't want it to show through. So this is what I like to do. This way I know I'm not overstuffing it. And if anything's coming out, then I know I've overstuffed it. So we're done with the body. Round one of the hat, what we're going to do is start off with our magic circle. I'm going to use 6 bands and we're going to do 5 single stitches in the magic ring. Again, for the hat, I'm going to follow my pattern, 2 rows of pink and then 2 rows of purple. So grab your loom and turn it upside down and take a single band and wrap it around the bottom peg 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now with your hook, reach in, grab a single band and bring it through, put one end on your hook, and grab the band and bring it over. Bring it to the side. Our second stitch, with another band, go in, grab the end, and put on your hook. We're going to grab these 2 bands and bring it over, and bring it to the side. Third band, reach in, grab the band and bring it up, and bring these 2 bands over. Bring it to the side. Our fourth stitch, our fourth band, go in, put on your hook, and bring these 2 bands over. Going for our fifth, reach in, bring the band through, bring these 2 bands over, and I'm going to attach my stitch marker, my C-clip. Remove off, and you should have 5 stitches. Just going to move the bands around. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and the one on your hook is your 5th. Round 2 of the hat, what we're going to do is use 10 bands. I'm going to increase on every stitch, so I'm going to be adding 2 bands. So at the end of this round, you're going to have 10 stitches. So going in the first, we're going to add 2 bands, one at a time, and bring it through. Go back in the same stitch with our second rubber band. Our next stitch, 2 bands, one at a time. Go back in, and you're just completing this pattern all the way around. Next stitch, back in, my next stitch, back in, and my last stitch. So you should have 10 stitches, counting beside your stitch marker, starting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One on your hook is 10. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. For round 3 of the hat, I'm going to be switching colors. I'm going to now use my purple, and I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. The pattern is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So in your first stitch, you're adding 1 rubber band. Your next stitch has 2 rubber bands. 1, 2, 1, 2, all the way around. I'm going to be using 15 bands, and at the end of this round, you're going to have 15 stitches. So going in your first stitch, we're going to do a slip stitch because I'm changing color. So bring it through all the bands that are around your hook, just like you're doing a slip knot, and pull. Your next stitch is going to have 2 bands. So 1, going back in the same stitch with my next rubber band, and my next stitch has 1. So starting again, 1, the next stitch has 2. When you get to the end where your stitch marker is, you're going to have 2 rubber bands. So repeat the pattern. 1, my next stitch has 2. The next stitch, 1. My next stitch has 2, and just complete this all the way around. My last stitch has 2. So you should have 15 stitches. You're going to start right at the chain, not the little slip knot that you see right here. Right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. The one on your hook is 15. I'm going to remove my C-clip and attach it to the band around my hook. For round 4 of the hat, I'm going to continue with my pattern of the purple color bands. I'm going to go 1 band, 1 band, 2 bands. So every third stitch you're going to add 2 rubber bands. 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. When you get to your last stitch, you're going to add 2 rubber bands. At the end of this round, you're going to have 25 stitches. 20 stitches. You will have 20 stitches at the end of this round. So you're going to go in the first stitch with 1 rubber band. You're going to be using 20 rubber bands for this round. So 1. My next stitch has 1. My third stitch, I'm adding 2 rubber bands. Going back in, and repeat the pattern again. 1, my next stitch, 1, and my third stitch has 2. Repeat. 1, 1, my next stitch, 2. Repeat. 1. Ooh, I dropped my stitches. Next stitch, 1. And my third stitch, 2. And one more time. So right now you should have 20 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the one on your hook is 20. I'm going to move the bands around so that they're nice and even. For round 5 of the hat, what we're going to do is increase on every 4th stitch. So every 4th stitch, we're going to add 2 rubber bands. So you're just going to go 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, all the way around. I'm changing color, so I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. At the end of this round, you're going to have 25 stitches, and your last stitch where you have your stitch marker, you'll be adding 2 rubber bands. So going in the first stitch, not where it's being used, where it's being pulled, right beside it, I'm going to grab my first rubber band and do a slip stitch. So I'm just going to go through all the bands that are around my hook, grab the other end and bring it through. Now stitch 2 has 1. Stitch 3 has 1. Stitch 4, we're going to add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. Going back in. And repeat the pattern. 1, 1, 1, and 2. And repeat. 1, 1, 1, 2. And again, the same thing all the way around. And my last stitch has 2. So right now you should have 25 stitches. Count your stitches when you're done. Remember, don't start here where your slip knot is. It's your first chain. Remove your C-clip and attach it to the band around your hook. For rounds 6 to round 12, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, we are just going to single stitch in each round. And I've made a boo-boo with my pattern here. Did I just say boo-boo? Okay, well, this round I'm not going to count these bands. In each pile, you should have 25 bands. So on each chain, you're just adding a single band all the way around. So let's go on our first stitch. So right here, if you changed color, not in the little slip knot here, right in the chain, and just add a single band. At the end of each round, you should have 25 stitches. So you're going to use 25 bands, I don't know if I just said that, in each round. So just going in with one band, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all the way around. I'm going to do one with you, and I'm going to start off the next color just to remind you to make sure that you do your slip stitch if you are changing the color. Just one band in each stitch. So we are done row 6. I'm going to move on to row 7. I'm just leaving on the C-clips in case I get distracted. So let's start off round 7. So you're just going to go in your stitch, not where you had your stitch marker. And I'm going to change the color, so let's just do a slip stitch if you are. So bring it through all the bands, put on your hook, and give it a little tug. And go in your next stitch, just with one rubber band, one, all the way around. You can pause the video and come back to me when you're done. For round 13 and 14, we are just going to single stitch in each chain. So we're adding one rubber band. So our last 2 rounds, round 13 and round 14. But I'm going to do a reverse stitch. So I'm just going to remove it off my hook, and I'm just going to go in the other way. So now I'm going to be working the other way. So I'm going to start off with my pink color, so I'm going to do a slip stitch. And I am going to go in the first chain, so not right here where your band is coming out. You just want to go through your next chain. So going through, we're just working around the opposite direction. You're going to add one rubber band. I'm going to do a slip stitch. And now going in the next chain with one rubber band. Each pile has 25 bands. So at the end of each round, you'll have 25 stitches. I'm going to do both rounds with you. And then we're almost complete with the doll. I'm going to show you how to do the little flower if you'd like to next. And then how to sew the body together. I find going the opposite way is a little bit tricky, but it gives it a different look at the end. So I'm just adding one rubber band. When you get down to your last stitch, you're just going to go right below where you have the stitch marker. So I have a little slip knot here. I'm just going to pass that and go in right beside where underneath my stitch marker. So you just want to move the slip knot out of the way, or the little chain. I'm just going to remove my rubber band and attach it to the band around my hook, and I'm still going to go in the same direction. So I'm just going to move the bands around because now it's going to lean. So I'm going to go in right here. This is your little slip knot. So I'm just going to go in, and I'm just going to add a single band to each chain again. And the last band, we're just going to do a slip knot because we're done with the hat. my last chain, just going in right where the C-clip is, and I'm going to pull a band right through all the bands on my hook, grab the end, and tie it off. I'm going to remove the C-clip, and your hat is done. You just want to move it around all the bands so that they're nice and even, and I'm going to turn it inside out. So now I'm going to show you how to do the flower. We're just going to do 2 rounds of the flower, and I'm going to do both with you right now. So we're going to start off with our magic ring, and we're going to do 6 stitches in the magic ring. So turn your loom upside down. You're going to take a single band. I'm going to use the pink, and I'm going to make one exactly like this one. Take a single band and wrap it around 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Now, we're going to reach in with our first band, bring it up, and bring this band over, and move it to the side. For our second stitch, band number 2, bring it through, and bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. Our third stitch, reach in, grab, bring these 2 bands over, and bring it to the side. Our fourth, reach in, bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. Our fifth stitch, reach in, bring these 2 bands over, bring it to the side. And our sixth, reach in, bring these 2 bands over. I'm going to attach my C-clip to the band around my hook and remove off the loom. So you should have 6 stitches. I'm just going to move my bands around so that they're nice and even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, the one on your hook. Now for round 2 of the flower, what we're going to do is increase on every stitch. So I'm going to use 12 bands. This one we're going to do it with a slip knot, so you're going to need a total of 13. So just go in each chain, and you're going to add 2 rubber bands, one at a time. Put on your hook. Oh, I'm changing color. Sorry. Slip stitch. Reach in, grab the band, and bring it through all the loops that are around your hook if you are changing color. Reach back in that same chain with your second rubber band. Moving on to the next chain, 2 rubber bands. So at the end of this round, you should have 12 stitches. Going back in the same chain. The next chain, we're going to add 2 rubber bands and just complete this pattern, oops, all the way around. Going back in. My next chain. And my next chain, 2 rubber bands. And where my C-clip is, adding 2 rubber bands. So right now you should have 12 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and the one on your hook is 12. Remove the C-clip, and you're going to go in your first chain, and we're going to bring a rubber band through all the loops that are around your hook to do a slip knot. Give it a tug. So now what you're going to do is I'm just going to bring this slip knot through one of these bands here. So I'm just going to go through, grab that slip knot and bring it through. So now we're just going to attach the flower to the hat. I have my little slip knot for the hat in the back, and I'm just going to place this just like at the side here. what I'm going to do, so my slip knot is in the back here. I'm just going to find a placement that I like best. And I'm just going to go from inside the hat, through the band, through the hat, through one of the loops on the hat, and come out. And I'm just going to grab one of these pink loops. You can attach this for like how you'd like. I'm just going to grab a band. So I'm going to grab the slip knot, grab the band, bring it through the loop, bring it through the hat, and I'm just going to go out another loop right beside it on the hat and grab that other band and bring it through. And I'm just going to attach a C-clip. You can do a slip knot with another band if you'd like. And the hat's done. So now what we're going to do is sew the body and the head together. I'm going to use 10 bands, and I'm going to use the color that I have on the top here on the body. So I'll be using 10 bands of the pink color. Because our head opening here has 10 stitches and our body has 20 stitches, we are going to decrease every 2 chains together on the body. So we're going to first, I'm going to start here where I have my slip knot, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to grab the stitch right beside it. So I'm going to decrease on the body. So just to show you one more time, I'm going right beside where I have my slip knot, and I'm going to go out and then in through the stitch beside it. I'm going to grab the stitch right beside the slip knot on the head, and I'm going to grab a single band, and I'm going to bring it through all the stitches. So I have either end of the that single band, one on my finger and the other end is on my hook. I'm going to go through, put on my hook, and slide through. Now I'm going to repeat this all the way around, going in one stitch on the body, coming out and going through the next stitch right beside it. I'm going to grab the stitch right here on the head, a single band, and I'm going to bring it through. So just twisting my hook around, putting the end on my hook, and I have the 3 loops, and I'm just going to slide through the other 2 loops. I'm going to repeat. This one's being used, so the one that's being pulled on the body, I'm going for the next one and grabbing a next stitch and going for the loop on the body, on the head, sorry, right here. The next band, and I'm going to pull it through again. On my hook, 3 loops and slide. Going for the next 2 stitches on the body, 1 and 2, and this loop here on the head. Bringing a band through, on my hook, and slide through. Repeat, 1, 2, and the one on the head, band and bring it through. 1, on my hook, and slide. 1, 2 on the body, the 1 on the head, bring a band through. One, 2, the 1 on the head, gonna bring a band through and slide. Shh, don't start barking, Lucky. Slide. On the body, 1, 2, 1 on the head, bring it through, one, 2, 1 on the head, I have 1 more stitch on the head and 2 stitches on the body. So 1, 2, and the 1 on the head. What we're going to do now, we're going to do a slip knot. So I'm just going to take this end back off my hook and I'm going to slide the other end of that band through. Put on your hook and do a slip knot. You can just hide these bands now. So I'm just going to take the one of my skin color on my head here, and I'm just going to go right beside it and pull it through. And I'm going to go on the neck and pull the bands through. So now we're going to attach the arms. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that original slip knot that we closed off the arm when we finished our round. It's right here. I'm going to have that one facing towards the back. And I'm just going to find a proper placement. I'm going to be attaching my arm to this top row where the purple meets the pink. And I'm just going to find a placement. So I'm looking at this side and this side. So I want the side of the body. If you start too over, then this part is going to come towards the front. So I think I'm okay right here. I'm just going to go in the top here of the purple stitch and bring this slip knot underneath and up. I'm going to go through the next stitch right beside it, grab that next slip knot, bring it underneath. So I have the 2 loops on my hook, and I'm just going to slide under. Going for the next stitch on the body, I'm going to do the same thing. Bring this slip knot underneath and slide. Going for the next stitch on the body, grabbing that slip knot, bringing it underneath and slide. Now I'm just going to hold this band. I'm going to remove it off my hook. I'm going to go underneath and grab that slip knot and bring it to underneath. Now I'm just going to go underneath one of the loops here on the body, grab another single rubber band, and I'm going to do a slip knot. So I'm going to go underneath and slide it under the other band. So I have both ends of that single band on my hook and do a slip knot. So we have one arm on. You can take this band and just hide it. and I'm going to do the other arm. So I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to find my original slip knot, and I'm going to face that towards the back. So I'm just going to kind of measure where I have to go. So I'm thinking right about here I'm going to start. Grab the first slip knot and bring it underneath. I'm going to go in the next stitch right beside it, grab the next slip knot, bring it underneath, and slide under. I'm going to go for the next stitch, do the same thing, grabbing that slip knot, bring it underneath, and slide. And I go for the stitch right beside it, grab that slip knot, and bring it underneath. Now I just want to make sure that it's an okay position before I close this off. So again, I'm just going to go underneath the arm, go right beside it, grab the band, and bring it underneath. I'm going to go through one of the loops here underneath the arm. I'm going to grab a band, and I'm going to go through all of the loops. Grab the other end and do a slip knot. So you can just hide that slip knot. And the arms are on. Now we're going to do the eyes, but the first thing before doing the eyes, just add on the hat so we can find a good placement for the eyes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through 3 of the loops, but I'm just going to find the center of the face here, right about here, and I'm going to go through, I'm going to skip 1 loop and go through 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to try to go beside though, or right here, through here. So 3, 1, 2, and 3 little holes. Grab your band of whatever color you'd like to use for the eyes, go through, grab the end, and I'm going to attach 2 C-clips. Well, I'm going to attach 1 on each eye. Bring it through, and then you're going to just push it towards the back through one of the holes. And again, the center, skipping a hole right beside the center and going 1, 2, and 3. Grabbing that black band and bring it through. Oh. Try again. So just make sure that you have it in a good placement. I'm going to push the C-clip towards the back through the hole. she's done. I really hope you enjoy this design, and I hope you like it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe down below. I have a lot more designs to load, and I will see you next time with another.